Meow! I'm Huples cat, and I find myself lost in the forest. I don't know what I'm going to do, but luckily I came prepared. I spent $32 Canadian and I bought this. This is all I need to live out here for months. Perhaps it isn't. The survival instructions are in French, which isn't fully waterproof, but it's actually fairly reasonable. This is the only container in this to carry water. That's a bit of a miss. I'd like to have more water carriage than this. So I say no, but oui. Pretty standard information in here. There's nothing earth-shattering at all. It really does tell you to burn far too many calories, as usual with these types of things. But can this actually work? And should I actually carry this? Well, this is the quick unboxing video. There's a whistle, so you can summon help without using your voice. Always a good idea. Should carry a whistle. I would carry a better one than this. It has not one, but two fire sticks. This is actually a nice idea. I was quite pleased with this. Problem is there's no actual fixed blade in here. Apparently there is two razor blades. That's not going to get me very far in conditions like this, making a fire. For those of you who don't know, I need this much wood every hour, piled up. A huge amount. Because it burns quickly. There's a glow stick. This will work for illumination for one night, and if you tie some thread to it, maybe people will see if you spin it around in circles. But it only works for one night, and there's no other illumination in this kit. The only food's one little tiny packet of salt, which might save me from dehydration, except there's no water purification tablets in here, and this bag is a little bit not see-through, so Sodus wouldn't be very reliable with it, and you wouldn't get much water. There's some trail marking tape, and this is useful. This will actually, and I've done this in my own forest, this would last maybe 1 kilometre to 2 kilometres in dense bush before it runs out. But it would be a good idea to use this if you're going to wander away from where you realise you're lost, because most people are going to tell you to stay put until you're rescued. But if you have to move around, this could actually get you back. You won't be able to see this at night. So this is their trail marking tape, and this is the stuff I buy. As you can see, I get slightly more. So I would say maybe 2 kilometres in bush like this and you're going to run out of tape. You can't have it too small, you'll never see it. And like I say, it doesn't work at night. There's a candle. You light this and then use this for your fire starting. It's always a good idea. I'd actually prefer it if this was actually more tea lights than this, and maybe 4 or 5 of them. But this is what they gave me. This in theory would slightly warm an ice cave. It's not going to work. This is a real downer. This is my only source of ignition. It's in a small Ziploc bag, which is a good idea. So there you go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 sources of ignition. Going to be good at fire starting. The number one priority is going to be shelter. You need to protect yourself from the wind, rain, snow, ice and the elements. And even if it's only 5 centigrade above freezing, you're going to die quite quickly if you're not well insulated. This Chinese foil blanket, I would use it for signalling. It's not really going to do much to keep me warm in these conditions. A plastic poncho, quite a trendy one as you've got your forearms exposed. Not really sure this is going to do much for me either. If you are going to wander around the beaten path, dress for the weather. Dress appropriately. Make sure you have hat and gloves. Even cheap hat and gloves that are thin will actually be a good addition to most people's kits because it can rain and it can get cold and the wind can pick up. Away from salt water, carrying 1 or 2 Bics is actually the preferred way I have a fire starting in an emergency. It's fast, it's reliable, it holds the flame for a while. And a candle is actually a pretty good idea to get the flame going so you can manipulate the flame. While you're doing your work. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. So far I won't lie, I'm very unimpressed. A pencil and a pad. Like I say, there's no fixed blade here, so you can't really sharpen this, so use it wisely. It's a good idea. Write stuff down, write your plans down. Your brain's going to go to mush. This will help you remember it. And you also have fire tinder. Not a bad idea. And if you can shave the wood, more tinder. You have a signalling mirror. Kind of works okay. I actually like a mirror so you can check out for ticks and anything you can't see. But this is not probably going to be good enough to signal a plane at 35,000 feet. This is the first aid kit. Woefully inadequate. You have one very cheap steri strip, you have one very tiny, very thin gauze, you have one okay pad bandage, some more steri strips, always a good idea, 4 knuckle bandages, and 4 alcohol sterilising pads. Absolutely brilliant for fire starting. Okay, I haven't found the whiskey yet. A tiny button compass. In conditions like this during the day when there's no sun, I have no idea which direction is, and I can go around in circles all day long, and I have done. It will kind of show me which direction north is, which will help guide me if I am on the move. But if you find yourself in conditions like this, make sure you have an okay compass. It's absolutely essential kit. This has a much better mirror in it, and you probably can see that, and I can see myself. So I have a much better compass with a movable rim, so I can actually figure out magnetic north if I have a map and stuff like that. And this one is way easier to use while I'm walking. And the button compass, you really shouldn't trust them. They're very easily demagnetized. It's better than nothing, almost. But if you're in the bush, have a compass with you. They don't take up much room, they're not much weight. A really nice piece of kit if it suddenly clouds over. Last and for me least is this. This is a kit. This kit is designed to catch you food. I would argue the physicality and the actuality of catching food if you're lost, it'd be much better to carry a couple of Lara bars than this entire kit. But people are people. A couple of hooks, a couple of ball bearings and a tiny bit of thread. Make your own fishing rod, I guess. So in this kit you have 35 foot of rope and another 12 foot of cord, and they actually have a needle in it, which I like. That's good for blisters if nothing else. I really don't think people should be using razor blades as a cutting implement, but it's in here. It's not sterile. And there's some wire and some more cord and a couple of big safety pins. I like the big safety pins. But it doesn't take much effort to carry a whole bunch of cord. This is decent cord, and I kind of like this. It's good strong cord. This cord, however, has got a purpose for itself, which makes it worth carrying. It's good fire tinder if you tease it out. Natural fibres are the best way of dealing with fire starting. So I won't be packing this kit in the wilds to save me if an emergency, because it's kind of useless, to be frank with you. But I will shove some bits in, and I will read this, even though it's pretty basic. I like the fact it has notes in it, and tells you how to deal with hypothermia and stuff like that. This kit's not going to save you from hypothermia in any way at all. The prices in Canada are a bit more than they are in America, so don't get too excited about this. It was 32 Canadian. I'm actually happy I bought it for certain reasons. The plastic bag's actually a decent thing to put a small camera in if I'm going kayaking, and I've been kind of looking for one that's not a hard shell, and this would be about $15 to $20 to buy separately. The trail tape, which I use a lot, is about $7.99. So right there I'm kind of over the $20 mark already, and the rest of the stuff in here is easily $12 value to me, if only for the fire starters. Bag's nice. It actually has a Velcro on it, and it actually would be a great thing to attach a rope to it if you had sort of hazelnuts or anything in here that you wanted to put in a stream for a couple of days to get rid of the tannins. Well, thanks for watching. Consider giving me a sub. Please comment below. Is there any items in this kit that you actually would absolutely want to have with you in an emergency if you were lost? And for fun, what's the 3 items you always carry with you? One of these better be one of the items. You're really going to need this. Huge loss in this kit. It hasn't even got a penknife in it. Well, I got to go back inside and make sure Wolfie Terrier doesn't feel too lonely, and I'll just give you a quick shot of where I am. I'm right by a stream, actually very close to the house, which if you look carefully you'll be able to see as we do the 360. Well, it's not even 4 o'clock and I'm going to lose the sun soon. Bear that in mind. Make sure you know when sun's up and sun's down. Make sure you know how to get water. Make sure you can purify it. Wolfie wishes you a happy new year.